All right, let's have some fun in this video. I told you in the title the Lions got away with highway robbery, and I'm sticking to it. All right. And when we look at this draft as a whole, there are three specific things that I thought the Lions did extremely well. And then we'll even talk about those of you who are fearing trading away a third and a fourth round pick next year, trading away those picks and just kind of the concerns that might bring to you. And I'm going to put those at ease. That's going to come later on in the video. So the Lions got away with highway robbery. How? The first one is the Terrion Arnold pick. Obviously, with pick number 24, I always default to that. Don't worry, I'm going to go to two more that absolutely were, and I'll back it up. But I am just absolutely blown away with this. Jeremy Reisman on Twitter, on X. By the way, if you don't follow us, please feel free. Go follow us on Twitter, Sports Talk Detroit. Interesting trade comparison. The Detroit Lions traded up 5 spots in the first round. All right? First-round picks are much more valuable than second-round picks. We know that. In order to move up 5 spots, they had to give up, so they got pick 24 and a 7th rounder. And they got back they lost pick 29 and pick 73. So that was their first and their third. They lost a first and a third to move up in the first and get a 7th. The Falcons in the second round traded up to get pick 35, and they got a 6th rounder, and they lost their second and third rounder. So they moved up 8 spots in the second round. I would make the argument that the 5 spots we moved up was incredibly more lucrative than the 8 spots they moved up. I'm not even sure they couldn't have got that guy at 43, to be honest with you. But when you hear it in comparison to this, that the Detroit Lions were prepared to trade up for another first rounder. All right, they didn't expect Terrion Arnold to fall to them, but they did have a different trade-up scenario in mind. So they had already laid the groundwork to trade up. All right, Breer wrote this week. He said, I believe Missouri defensive end Darius Robinson was the target, which made it easy to pivot and get aggressive going up from number 29 to number 24 to land a falling Terrion Arnold. So Albert Breer wrote that. So here's my question to you. Do you feel better? And I said this in the video with Chris just the other night. Do you feel better having Terrion Arnold, or would you have felt better with Darius Robinson? Both are trade ups. Both you are going to lose your third round pick. One has a much better feel to it, doesn't it? And it's Terrion Arnold. You got what is arguably the best player in the draft. All right, now, before I get to the 2 other players that were just like stealing candy from a baby, almost. Like, it is ridiculous that they fell to us. I want to talk about the concerns of our future draft picks. I want to talk about the concerns of our future draft picks, and it's a rightful concern, but I'm going to tell you why I think it's okay. Next year, we have our first round pick and we have our second round pick. Our third round pick, we traded to the Jets. That was the pick that got us Giovanni Manu. It's that simple. That was the pick. Our fourth round pick, we got, and this is very interesting. We still, if I'm reading this correctly, have a fourth round pick. See, if you remember, we traded Swift to get a future fourth, which is this one, and the trade to get Sione Vaki, we are unsure. Okay? We are unsure if that is our pick that we're giving to the Eagles or giving them their pick back. So we should still have a fourth rounder. So I think a lot of people were concerned and nervous that we were going to not have a third and fourth round pick. Based on my calculations, we should. If I'm wrong, that's okay. So sorry. It's hard because it's so recent to the draft that some of the information isn't out. If that's wrong, I will absolutely correct it in another video. Then we have a round 5 selection. We have a round 6 selection, not our round 6, but the Buccaneers. All right, because we traded to the Browns our pick to get Donovan Peoples-Jones, and then we have 3 7th-round picks. So we actually have a large amount of picks next year. So I want to put that at ease, but I'm going to put it at even more ease. All right, I thought for a fact we'd get a compensatory pick for that Jonah Jackson signing. Unfortunately, this was such a crazy free agent market that I don't think we're going to. I think these are the people based on the contracts that were signed. These are the people based on Spotra or over the cap. Sorry. These are the people that they're saying are going to get them, but the Lions still could get a compensatory pick. All right. If the Lions defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, takes a head coaching job, and assistant GM Ray Agnew takes a GM job. If these things both happen, the Lions would have 3 compensatory third-round picks due to a resolution JC2A. It's designed to help diversity in coaching in the front office. All right. In Agnew's case, the Lions would get 1 compensatory third-round pick in 2025 and 1 in 2026. All right, so for example, the Rams received 2 compensatory picks when the Lions hired Brad Holmes. And then it would be the same thing with Aaron Glenn, except it would be 1 year. So there is a world where if the defense performs like it should because there's talent and he gets a head coaching job, Aaron Glenn, and then Ray Agnew takes a GM job, which, by the way, both of them had multiple interviews this last cycle. And I think it would be safe to say if these picks continue to pan out, Ray Agnew will get a job. Then you could be looking at 2 third-round picks next year, and then another one the year after that. So 2 the year after that. So I think we're all worried about, we're not going to have picks. We're not going to have picks. They're going to be there. There's still going to be weapons if it all turns out. It doesn't have to. All right, now, the last 2 highway robbery things. I'm not all about athleticism. I'm not. But it is important. And what I do think is crazy, what I think is nuts, is when you have players who produce well on the field. Christian Mahogany, he played 422 pass blocking snaps last year. You know how many sacks he gave up? 0. Do you know how many hits he gave up? 0. That was at right guard. In 2021, he was arguably better. Then he got hurt, missed all of 2022. So I think that maybe caused his stock to fall. It was probably an ACL. I think it was an ACL. Of course it was, right, with Brad Holmes. So it caused his stock to fall. And I don't understand why, because he played the full year. He'll be 100% healthy. It's the year 2 afterward that you're 100% back. You're almost 100% back that first year, but he'd be 100% back. Now, he had the production, and look at the athleticism. 61st ranked offensive guard to ever test. His height and weight are okay. Everything else is elite or great. You've got to be kidding me. Wow. Like, this is what the Lions are getting. And then in that same 6th round, you have another athlete that outside of his height and weight, which, by the way, all of this testing is shockingly similar to Aaron Donald. I'm not saying he's him. He's not. But arm length, hand size, the explosion is not as good. The speed grade, same, right? Like, all this stuff is very similar. Like, this is nuts that we got these guys. And they're not the only ones that are just these athletic, pop-off-the-page, crazy people. But yes, the Detroit Lions got away with highway robbery not once, but 3 times in this draft. And I just wanted to be here for it, to talk about it and celebrate with all y'all. All right, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. We're almost at 20,000. I don't know why that's exciting. It just feels exciting because it's like, oh, man, that changes everything. All right, hope you're enjoying the videos. We'll be here every day. You know it. See ya.